PMing is more than anything else about communicating. I mean, we have to be chameleons to adapt to all sorts of different styles and people. It's something that didn't always come natural to me. I've always been looking for a system that would help me figure out how to be a better communicator. And I'm going to tell you about one that I found. A little bit more background, though. It seems like it's one of these soft skills that we're just kind of making up as we go along. I feel like, getting on the subway without having looked at a map and just hope you get off at the right stop. But it turns out a few years ago at Google, I went to a leadership training, and I learned this system, and I'm going to share with you. Now, it's going to sound a little bit like these, personality tests. You heard about it, all this kind of MBTI stuff. I was always skeptical of that. It didn't tell me anything I didn't already know about myself. More importantly, it didn't tell me anything about other people. And communicating is about working with other people. So the system's called True Colors. It was created by a guy named Lowry. And Don's observation was that rather than focusing on personality, we should think about preferred communication styles. And that if we understand them and their interaction between them, we can be more effective and meet each other halfway. And so he identified 4 of them, and he gave each of them a color. And now, this isn't like MBTI where you're going to fit into one box or another. The point being that we exhibit all of these in any given day. But that chances are there's one that's really our preferred style. If you think about it, it's your default. And so thinking about where we live on this spectrum and where the people we work with live on this spectrum can help us work together more harmoniously. So I'm going to tell you about each of the different colors, and I'm going to come back to why I think it's important. The first color is gold. Gold is all about productivity. More than anything else, they crave task completion. They like to be accountable. They're very detailed-oriented. It's a very kind of project manager mindset. Golds always read the directions. And if you have a gold on your team, you want to be punctual. You want to recognize their accomplishments. You want to establish clearly defined goals. Golds are great at keeping product teams on track and make sure that you're actually making progress and you're doing the things you set out to do that were most important. And the second color is orange. Orange is a much more adventurous type. They crave excitement and fun more than anything. It's kind of an adventure. They would never read the directions. When you have an orange on your team, you want to be energetic and excited. You want to get them emotionally involved because that's how they like to work. You want to give them the freedom to take risks and show that you're flexible. And oranges are great at pushing teams to always go bigger and better and even be more innovative than before. The third color is blue. Blue, true blue, like a friend. Blues are focused very much on personality, interpersonal relationships. They're very emotive. They kind of just innately know how to connect to other people. They like finding the potential in others. Blues are the type of people that would always resolve problems face-to-face, rather than over email. If you have a blue on your team, you want to be real, you want to be sincere, you want to know how they're feeling, you want to show that you care about the impact of your decisions on people. Now, blues are amazing for keeping their finger on the pulse of a team and finding areas where there's disharmony and becoming a peacemaker if needed. Now, the first step in this, the fourth color is green. Green's very much craving accuracy, making decisions based on data, not emotion. It's a very kind of an engineering mindset. When you're working with greens, and I know you all are, you want to make sure you're prepared with the data to support the decisions you're making. Be prepared to argue and debate different alternatives. Let them work independently. Greens like to work alone. They'd probably rather resolve a problem over email than face-to-face. But greens are great at keeping us grounded in reality and making sure that the problems that we're solving are real problems and that we're actually building things that matter. And so the first step is figuring out what your colors are. And I learned that my primary color is green. So I'm more engineer than project manager. But I have a secondary color of orange, which means that I'm more. Sorry, I'm getting out of track here. So this is the problem with Ignite. When you get out of track, you're off good. So the other side of it is you start to see the colors in other people. And you start to kind of recognize these patterns, and you start to see your own blind spots. For me, it's blue and gold. So blue, I don't always connect to other people emotionally. Sometimes I piss people off without realizing it. Gold, I don't always think about the steps between here and there, what all the things I need to do. And I've thought about the times where I've been most successful have been the times where I've been surrounded by people that complimented me. A blue to kind of whisper in my ear that people are getting frustrated or emotional, or a goal to remind me to stay on track and actually do the things that matter. And so you start to kind of step back and see patterns in teams, and you realize that depending on the makeup of teams, they have different ways of working together and different ways of making decisions, and most importantly, different blind spots. And so you need to make sure that you understand those and recognize them, and that everybody on the team kind of works together cohesively. So it's called True Colors. It's actually really valuable. It's one of the only things I've ever tried that I actually stuck with, and a few years later continue to use. And so I find myself both telling other people how my preferred styles are to work, and then I start to kind of see others, and I start to kind of see the patterns and colors in other folks, and then I start to work to want to meet them halfway. So I encourage you to give it a whirl. There's all sorts of stuff online about it. There's videos and tests. There's actually team exercises, so if it works for you, you might want to try it with your team. And that's it. Thanks.